Good evening, everyone. This is the Auburn School Buildings Committee meeting of October 25th, 2018. Sadly, on some notes, to say that it's going to be our final one, but as we progress forward, I guess. So I'd like to open it right now with if we could stand and have a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So, don't have a huge agenda here tonight, but this is being recorded. Anybody else recording? Seeing none? Okay. Citizens' comments? No. Okay. In the packets, we had the meeting minutes from the last meeting from May 3rd. If there's entertain a motion to accept these meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
And a second?
Second.
And we have a second. Any discussion, questions, corrections? No? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those against? So the meeting minutes are approved. Project team meeting, team update. So, Ben, rock our world.
I'll keep it brief. Good evening, everyone. So the only thing, well, I'll go over, give you an update on what's transpired since the last time we met. As you guys might, if you look at the meeting minutes, we were getting ready to submit the final closeout package to MSBA. We did so back in, oh God, Joe, help me out here. Was it May? It was May, I believe, yeah. And our target board date to close this whole thing out with the state was in August. Unfortunately, the audit in the state's court did not pan out that way. It took a bit longer than they thought it would, so we didn't get approved for the August board date. We are approved now for the October board date, which is next Wednesday, the 31st, down in MSBA's office in Boston. So they have approved the final grant participation to the town. It's spelled out. If you take a look at the, let's see, there's a couple documents in your package here. It's the one with the signatures on the first page. And so if you look at, let's see, page 3, it's on the back there. You'll see at the bottom line number there, the $732,843, the remaining grant. And if you remember back, the 5% of the project costs that are submitted is withheld until everything is checked after the final audit that MSBA does. So they look through all the financials. They had a bunch of other deliverables that we had to get into them for them to approve that and then tell the town that they're going to be paying them. So come Wednesday, once they do the final vote down in Boston, that will be paid to the town. So there's a breakdown here of the expenses, what was submitted. So the final project, the top part, if you look at the $41,654,123, that was the total project budget. And so they had the exclusions below that, and then the basis for the total max facilities grant of $35,345,503. If you look below that, a couple sections down, the actual cost submitted, the $40 million. So we did not submit. They based the original projections off you submitting all invoices, hitting all contingencies, spending every last dollar. We did not do that. The $40,247,186 was what was submitted. Of that, $6,186,029 was excluded. That was for, if you guys remember back, us explaining things like the site cap within the construction budget, the FF&E cap. They set certain caps, and they also exclude things like the turf field, and then they have things like that within there that they don't consider eligible for reimbursement. So the number that was actually considered for reimbursement is at $33 million below that, $333,009. So if you multiply that times the reimbursement rate of 58.61, it comes out to the final grant that they're going to pay, which is $19,536,477. So that's, once they pay the $732,000, that brings us up to that. Sorry to bore you with all the numbers, but just wanted to give you a quick breakdown of how that works. So this is the final meeting, at least to my knowledge. I think the plan was to approve the meeting minutes from the prior meeting. And then, Mark, I think you got to send notifications to the school committee and maybe the selectmen. I'm not sure how it works with you guys here, but that's the financial information. That's really what wraps it up, and MSBA has extended thanks to all of you guys, and we'd like to thank you as well, the board, for being involved throughout all of this. I'd like to personally thank Joe and Mary Ellen for their continued involvement and their resolve throughout the project just to get things done, to work with the team, to be interactive with us. Every single meeting they were there, they were attentive, and they were in on everything. So you guys were great to work with. I guess I'll open up for questions on what I just walked through.
Mr. Chairman,
So,
as far as the numbers are concerned, I believe you did a good job in trying to explain,
Sure.
not trying to explain,
I
explaining
tried.
them. But the number that I was looking at was on this sheet here, which it says budget summary, it says approved project budget, and it gives a figure of 44,000,005, and grand total, it comes down with $1,000,004, and then they add two other figures, and they say the remaining balance of the total budget is $2,843,73. Are they coming in through a different door, or?
So that was just money that was unspent from the original. What was bonded by the town is that top number, the $44 million. And then the
Yeah.
new school project had its own budget of $41,654,123. And then the West Street budget, you can see that below that. So that was already, there was the $1.432 million was the delta between that. Are you asking a different question, or?
No, not a, you're doing fine, and certainly nobody out there that's watching us understands this, but, so this remaining balance of the total budget of $2,000,008 is just a number that was not really finalized as such.
well, it was not used.
It was,
It's
We
basically,
track-
you can look at it as a savings. I mean,
Right,
the original vote back
Well, if you
in,
look at other figures, and
May-
there's other figures.
yeah, no, I know, but
Say-
back in the town meeting vote, and then the election, the ballot vote was based on we had budgets for the whole project and stuff of the 44,511,000, and that's what it was approved for. So the town had to carry a bond for that whole thing, and that's
Okay.
what we were approved with this, with the state and MSBA. So the 2.8 is really just a unspent money
Right.
out of that.
right, and that was a holistic view
44,511.
of all both projects and from what was unused from before. If you look at the actual number, the $1,406,937, that was stuff that was unspent within the Auburn Middle School project, if you want to just
Okay.
keep it at that
thank you.
level. Sure.
Yes, Joe.
Just to be clear,
Yep.
the final cost being $40,247,186,
Yep.
and the grant, once the rest of the money is received, is $19,536,477.
Correct.
So the cost of the town to borrow is $20,710,709.
Right. And so if you do a percentage breakdown, I don't have it on here, but if you remember back, when you say the reimbursement rate of 58%, you can't look at that towards the total project budget. It's of the eligible project costs. And so I think when Dale first started coming in, he mentioned it's usually between 10 and 15% lower than that if you look at the average across the state. And I believe we're right around 50%. It's like 49 point something if you break that down. So we are within that range, but that is, because MSBA sets a cap for all those things, and we could go all day looking. This document actually breaks it out if you look on the last pages as far as what they deemed eligible and the reasoning for their ineligible costs. So,
So basically, we got that school for $20 million.
correct.
Taxpayer.
50-50,
Oh, it's
yeah.
not taxpayer. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. So, I mean, Ben certainly started out there with thanking everybody, and it was 6 years ago, or 7 years ago, I guess it was spring of 2011, that we were first notified that we were okay to, or that we were on MSBA's radar and on their list to go after, looking at schools and stuff. That summer brought on Skanska, and then through the fall and into the early winter of the next year, we finally got an LPA. So it wasn't until the early part of 2012 that we actually started, moving forward with looking at all the different schemes and stuff, and had all our teams together here, and opened a school in August of 2015. So that was pretty incredible. The 3 years' time on a public budget to go through from looking at doing nothing to a school, doing renovations to an existing, renovations and expansion, building on the new building, new elsewhere, and all that we went through, and that we got to this point is quite amazing. Unfortunately, we plateaued out a little bit on the closeout, but I think in the end, we're the whole thing has turned out as a much better project and stuff. And I certainly want to thank all the board or the committee members and stuff for all their time.
Has everybody been paid? Have they all been paid? You all been paid? You all happy? If you've been paid, what are you doing here?
That's the great part about this team. No one's owed any money, and they're all still
Certainly want to thank Skanska and all their help that they gave us, Lambert Pagano and Eric. You guys spent a lot of time up front listening to the administration and teachers and everybody else, and helping us try to sell this down the road and stuff. Put a lot of work into it, and certainly Fontaine was a great partner. Came in here and really
the
helped
same
out.
team when we build the new elementary school. Is that what you said?
I did say that was Joe Miller. But so and certainly working with Superintendent Burnell, and she's been here the whole time, and we've been great partners. And
She
Joe
made
and
our
stuff.
job easy.
Yeah. So
Joe's the man. I said, everything
I really appreciated working with it. And all. I think Mary Ellen, if you want to.
So just to quickly echo Mark's comments and to thank all of you. It's been, it's hard to believe when we were going back looking at the timeline of when this all began, when we first started interviewing people to come in. So it's been a great project. It's my first one that I ever did. You made it as easy as it probably could have been. And I do have just a little token of appreciation for you as a little keepsake to remind you of all the good times mostly good times that we had. So thank you very, very much. I'll bring those out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other committee members issue comments?
Thank you so much.
Good idea. I like that idea.
If not, I would entertain adjournment for the
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Oh, disband?
dis-
Do we have to?
I think you're adjourning, actually. I don't think that because this is really a school building committee, not necessarily for the middle school. So it's possible
Well,
you could get called back to
Like I
start
say,
this.
keep it going until we may be needed.
Anyway, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor? Thank you very much for all your work.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.